incredible is happening in rural India. A quiet revolution is reshaping the lives of hundreds of millions of people. It's truly one of the most significant stories of social progress in our time, and in this explainer, we're going to unpack the strategy that made it all possible.
So let's just start with this one number. According to India's official multidimensional poverty index, and this isn't just about money, it measures health, education, and living standards, the whole picture. Poverty has absolutely plummeted. It's gone from over 55% back in 2005 to just over 11% today. I mean, that is a staggering drop. It's one of the fastest reductions in poverty in history.
So, that leads to the big question, right? How is this even possible? A change this big, this fast, that doesn't just happen by accident. It's the result of a very deliberate, a very fundamental shift in strategy. And that's what we're going to break down right now.
Okay, so first things first, let's look at the proof. The sheer scale of this change is so much easier to understand when you can actually see it, and the data paints an incredibly powerful picture of progress across the entire country.
All right, take a look at this. These two maps really tell the story. The map on the left, from 2015, is filled with red and orange, showing really high levels of poverty. Now look at the map on the right, just a few years later. It's almost all green and yellow. This isn't just numbers on a page, right? It's a visual record of millions of lives getting better, and the poorest states are actually seeing the biggest improvements. This really sets the stage for the strategic shift that made all this happen.
So, how on earth did this happen? Well, this success story wasn't just about throwing more money at the problem. It came from a fundamental change in philosophy, a major shift from a model of simple participation to one of genuine partnership.
So what do we mean by this partnership model? Well, it's about moving away from that old top-down approach, where the government just delivers schemes from on high. Instead, it's about flipping the script. It's creating a framework where local communities are in the driver's seat of their own development. This empowers local voices to shape their own solutions, which makes growth way more sustainable and meaningful in the long run.
You can really see this change in action when you look at how rural employment programs have evolved. The old approach, the 2005 program, you might know it as MGNREGS, was a really important safety net for sure. But the new model? It's a complete overhaul, reflecting a much more modern, strategic approach to building valuable community assets, not just giving out temporary work.
And the upgrades are, well, they're pretty significant. Yes, the number of guaranteed workdays has gone up, but here's the key thing. The focus of that work has totally shifted. It's not just about paying wages anymore. It's about creating valuable long-term assets like water projects and things that help with climate resilience. And all of this is backed by stronger digital governance for transparency and more funding to build up the skills of local leaders. Okay, so that brings us to the second pillar of this whole transformation. Because, policies are one thing, but making them actually work on the ground, that needs a powerful engine. And in this case, that engine is the community itself.
At the heart of this is a concept called Jan Bhagidari, which basically means public participation. And look, this is way more than just a catchy slogan. It's a whole policy framework built on the idea that every single person has both a right and a responsibility to chip in and contribute to progress. It's literally about building development from the ground up. And the scale of this is just mind-blowing. We're talking about over 10 crore families. That's more than 100 million households, mostly led by women, who have been organized into what are called self-help groups. And these aren't just small get-togethers. They've become these powerful, local institutions that are driving change from inside the community.
So how do they do it? Well, their work really stands on three key pillars. The first one is financial inclusion. These groups are like a gateway to the formal economy. They have community bankers known as bank sakis who deliver financial services right to the last mile, making sure absolutely no one gets left behind. The second pillar builds right on top of that, creating sustainable livelihoods. So instead of people having to migrate to big cities for work, the focus is on building up local businesses in farming, in handicrafts, creating opportunities right there inside the village.
And the third pillar is what ties it all together: social development. These community networks become the channels for better health, better nutrition, better education, and they make sure that government benefits actually get to the families that need them the most.
All right, let's bring in the third key piece of this puzzle. Powering this entire community-driven model is technology, and it's being used not just as a tool, but as a real catalyst for empowerment and inclusion on a massive national scale.
Okay,
A perfect example of this is a program called the SVA-MITT-VA scheme. Let's break down how it works. Step 1. Drones fly over and survey every single plot of land in a village. Step 2. That data is used to create super precise digital maps. Step 3. For the very first time, villagers are given official, legal property cards. And that final step? Well, that simple card unlocks a whole new world of economic opportunity.
Here's why that's so crucial. A property card is so much more than a piece of paper. It's a legal asset. Think about that. It can put an end to land disputes that have gone on for generations. But most importantly, it can be used as collateral to get a bank loan, allowing a family to start a business or send their kids to a better school. Basically, technology is turning land from something that caused arguments into something that can build a future.
Okay, so this all sounds amazing, right? We've got new policies, empowered communities, incredible technology. But it brings up a really important question. How do we make sure all this new growth is truly inclusive and that it actually reaches everyone, especially the most vulnerable?
And that brings us to the very foundation of this entire model. Social justice isn't some add-on here. It's not an afterthought. It's baked into the strategy from the very beginning to ensure that all this growth is fair and equitable.
You know, there's a line from one of the strategy documents that just says it all. The ultimate goal is to build an inclusive society where growth translates into fairness, dignity, and equal rights for all. Economic growth is the tool, but that is the final goal.
And this isn't just talk. This commitment is backed up by real, concrete action. We're talking about things like targeted scholarships for education and even financial backing for entrepreneurs from marginalized communities. It also includes really powerful programs like Namaste, which is designed to end the degrading practice of manual scavenging by giving sanitation workers machines and new, dignified jobs, and a social safety net that provides pensions for over 90 million of the most vulnerable citizens.
So, when you put it all together, what's the key takeaway? India's rural transformation isn't the result of some single magic bullet. It's a powerful, interconnected strategy, a true partnership between empowered communities, transformative technology, and smart policy reform.
So, this leaves us with a big, final question. As countries all over the world are trying to tackle inequality, what can be learned from India's experience? What does the successful shift from top-down orders to bottom-up, community-driven partnerships tell us about the future of development itself?